Hey everyone, this is game 4 of my little series, the Filthy Openings Win Gambit against the French. And this game now was played between Tomas Kulhanek versus Stanislav Fuchs, played in the year 2001. So, white played e4, e6 is played, and we get into the Win Gambit. And c takes b4 now from black, so they've accepted the gambit, and this time white does indeed play the move d4. And white is actually a strong player, rated 2,400, whereas black is only rated 2,005, so maybe white has an advantage already. But black plays an unusual move now. They play the move knight to e7, and their idea is quite simple. They're just going to place their knight on c6, and this gives the bishop on f8 some space. So this is actually quite an interesting idea. But white just continues normally, so they play the move a3, hitting b4, and now knight to c6. But I don't think this is anything for white to worry about. In the game, white just takes on b4, which is very nice. Bishop recaptures and c3. After bishop to e7, white gets their normal structure with bishop to d3, and black can castle in this position. So it's similar positions we've seen white now try and play bishop takes h7, the Greek gift. But it doesn't actually work here because after the king captures we can't play knight g5 due to bishop takes g5. So after castling, white has to come up with another idea. And this is a typical move that white can play in this position. It's the move h4. And what this does is prepares the move knight to g5, where we can now hit this h7 pawn. And if black ever captures the knight on g5, this opens up the rook very nicely into black's position. So black has a multitude of moves to play in this position. h6 is one option, but actually white is now just winning. White can play the move bishop c2 and prepare queen to d3. If black plays f5 to try and block, then there's just e takes f6, followed by rook takes f6 and queen d3 anyway. And black is actually really suffering in this position. They've got a terrible e6 pawn, and the white queen is just going to infiltrate black's position. So other options for black are to play maybe f5, and this is actually a tricky move to deal with for white. But having Stockfish run this position for quite a while, the move knight g5 is considered the best. And after if h6 from black, white retreats back to h3. And if black takes this pawn, then just knight d2. And if bishop e7, play the move knight to f4. And we'll infiltrate a different way with onto g6. And basically white's just given up another pawn to open up this rook, and this is very alpha 0, and this is great if you're an attacking player. But after h4 in the game, black decided to play the move f6, which isn't actually a bad move. White takes this pawn, but now black has to be very careful. There's only one good move to play here, and that's rook takes f6. And white would continue maybe bishop g5, but after rook f8 just play bishop c2 and prepare the move queen d3. And this position is actually considered equal. Again, white's a pawn down due to the gambit, but they should have enough compensation in a kingside attack. And black does have to be quite careful and very accurate to defend these type of positions. So after e takes f6, again g takes f6 was another option. But actually, white can just play knight g5, and if they capture this, just play queen h5, hitting this pawn. And if rook f7, then there just comes h takes g5, and we've got three pieces now hitting h7. If white tries to develop, then there's bishop takes, and if king f8, bishop g6, and white's sacrificed a piece but has an amazing attack. Back to the game though. Bishop takes f6 was played in the actual game. And now white comes up with a very good move. Maybe pause the video and see if you can spot it yourself. But he actually played a great move, bishop takes h7 with check. And the point is, the king recaptured, and now white infiltrates with knight to g5 check. So white just sacrificed a piece. King g8 would lead to the similar position in the game. So what happens is bishop takes g5 was played, h takes g, and so this rook now on h7 hits the king. King g8 and now queen h5. The plan is simple, to play the move g6 followed by queen h8 or queen h7, mate. Knight e7 was played, so what black's going to do is try and give back a piece for this pawn. So g6, and now knight takes g6, queen takes g6, and queen f6 from black. So black's trying to trade queens, but white's not having any of this. He played queen h7 check, and king f7 is played. So let's just add up the pawns for a second. White is still a pawn down, but the material is relatively equal for both sides, but white now has a vastly superior position. How would you continue in this position? Well, in the game, white came up with a brilliant move, rook h3, preparing the move rook f3. And the reason why white's position is so good is because at a timely moment they're going to play bishop to a3. And that's a very nice bishop move, and you should be very much aware of this if you're going to play this opening. For instance, if king e8 in this position, to get off the f-file, white can continue rook f3. And if queen e7, there's bishop a3. And if there's a move like, let's say, queen to d8, there's actually rook takes f8, king takes f8, and queen h8. And white's going to pick up the queen, because if they try and defend it here, there's bishop g5 check. Very nice. So, in the game, black played queen to d8, white checked on f3, and after king e8, the same position occurred actually. Rook takes f8, king takes f8, and queen h8 was played by white. And again, black resigned in this position, and that's because if king e7, there's bishop g5 check. I'm picking up the queen, and it's just game over. So this was an excellent game for white. He made it look really simple actually, just to defeat black. But this game had some great moves in it. So after castles by black, white played a great move, his h4 move, ganging up on his h7 pawn. Black tried to parry with f6, but after captures, white just comes up with a brilliant sacrifice, bishop takes h7, and white's already winning this game massively. That's an amazing position. And this is why I'm encouraging you to play this opening, because it's full of surprises. So king takes, and now knight g5, takes, and this is just easy pickings. This is very simple. And again, after check, white just has to find one more good move, rook h3, and that's pretty much game over from this position. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out the other videos with the win Gambit examples, and I'll post another video very soon, and then I'll post the theory of the win Gambit, and you can decide to play it in your own games. See you next time.